is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairwoman Waters. And thank you all for joining us here today. I know it's been a really long day. The purpose of this hearing is to review globally systemic banks 10 years after the 2008 financial crisis. So just know that while I'm tough, it's not personal, okay? I was really going back and reviewing these last 10 years, and I have concerns about how much things have really changed. I did an assessment, and year by year, let's go back to 2013. 2013, Chase had to pay out $720 million in fines to the Fed, SEC, and UK Financial Conduct Authority for failing to oversee its trading practices, including what is known as the London Whale. 2014, Bank of America agreed to a $16.5 billion settlement to the DOJ and others for misconduct related to mortgage-backed securities, and a $20 million penalty with another $727 million in consumer relief. 2015, Bank of New York Mellon, $714 million to settle claims that it defrauded customers when it promised to exchange at best rates for customers, but instead used the worst rates and pocketed the difference. 2016, Wells Fargo entered into consent orders for fraudulently opening millions of accounts in customers' names without their consent or knowledge. 2017, State Street, 7 months after installing the Fearless Girl statue, paid $5 million in back pay and interest after a Department of Labor audit found that State Street was systematically paying female employees less than their male counterparts and black executives less than similarly situated white executives. My colleague from Illinois highlighted some troubling connections between Morgan Stanley and Puerto Rico's illegal debt load. 2018, Goldman Sachs began facing lawsuits from DOJ, the Fed, foreign governments in relation to funding bribes and kickbacks to foreign officials relating to raising funds for Malaysia's sovereign wealth fund. Timothy Leissner, the Goldman Southeast Asia executive, pled guilty to various charges and forfeited $43 million. And just last month, March of 2019, Citibank fined for $25 million for violating the Fair Housing Act, for failing to offer benefits to all eligible customers, namely on the basis of race, national origin, and sex. And so I'm concerned here about the potentiality of fines related to misconduct just being incorporated as the cost of doing business. Mr. Corbett, is a cost-benefit analysis that weighs the cost of government fines versus the potential financial upside of potentially breaking the law, does that factor into controversial decision-making around misconduct at your bank?
Absolutely not.
Okay, in my district, I represent Rikers Island. I represent kids that go to jail for jumping a turnstile because they can't afford a Metro card. Do you think that more folks should have gone to jail for their role in a financial crisis that led to 7.8 million foreclosures in the 10 years between 2007 and 2016, Mr. Diamond?
I don't think people should go to jail for jumping a subway. I think we put too many people into jail, and I think if people broke the law, they should go to jail.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you think that the failure to hold more people accountable for the 2008 crisis as a failure of our legal system?
Look, you have to talk to a lot of legal experts about why more people didn't, whether they deserve to, whether they broke the law, what's intent, what's not intent, but you have to talk to legal experts about that.
On that note, Mr. Diamond, I do want to commend you for your decision and Chase's decision to pull out of financing for private prisons. I think that has led to some changes, particularly with Wells Fargo as well, in making sure that we begin to divest from some of the troubling things that we're seeing, particularly